And so as we move forward to talk about the importance of receivership and how we need to use receivership as a business ally, it is very imperative. Our number one cornerstone is about employing the energy of receiving.
Okay.
Employing the energy of receiving. And this creates the opening for greater expansions, Tomasa, and more elevated opportunities, because it allows us to develop what I call a deeper reservoir and capacity for us to take in order to give out from an overflow. And see, anytime you are a giver, and especially a giver in service, you must stay positioned and aligned for receiving, so that you have the internal but also the external resources to share. And I would like to liken this to a grocery store or a department store that gets their regular shipments of goods. You know, they place an order for items so that they will be fully stocked. And normally they don't wait until they run out of merchandise or items. They take inventory and then they pre-order what they need. And once the order arrives to them, they must receive that order. And so if you're familiar with the processes of chain stores or department stores, they have a department that is called shipping and receiving. And as they are putting out, they are also receiving a supply. See, without receiving goods, you will have no supply to serve with. We have to begin to embody employing receivership into our businesses so that we can understand our frameworks will work the same way as receiving goods and having a supply to be able to give out. So if you physically serve, or give without properly receiving the goods for yourself in terms of self-care and all the other things that are going to support your business journey and your personal journey, if you don't have what you need, you won't be in business long. And if you emotionally and mentally exhaust yourself, then you won't have anything to offer. Or even if you do, you won't be able to show up and serve with excellence. And I know this all too well. And this is why I strongly believe that our foundational processes for our endeavors, as it relates to our business, really needs to begin with a high level of receivership before you can begin to execute on a higher level. It's about being rightly positioned for receiving your good. And I focus on this from an aspect of what I call establishing the art of healthy receivership. And one of the best ways to do this is by aligning your path of receiving as a genuine way of lifestyle. So that is why it is very important, because especially as women, they have a hard time being able to receive, and we're going to talk about that later in one of the cornerstones from another vibrational vantage point of how receivership is so important. But I think this was a perfect entry point and a foundational introduction to understand, as it relates to business, why we have to see ourselves as the shipping and receiving mode, but it is up to us to cultivate the support conditions and get in the energy of receiving so that we can receive what we need, whether it's from a coach, whether it's outside support. We need to be able to be good receivers in order to be effective entrepreneurs who give and serve.